Peace, diehards. It's your boy, Eru the Any Star, host of the Knick podcast. Welcome you guys to another podcast, man. I had to get busy today because we just got bad news about Brianna Taylor. Now it's bad news and stuff that I don't think anybody was surprised about it, and it's a shame, man. But it just you go through all that stuff expecting something to happen eventually, something to change. Um, you know, there's been a lot of protests. The summer was crazy with the protests, and like I said, it's great to see this, like not just black and Spanish, but it's been mostly white, and every other race that you can imagine, in these protests and stuff like that. So you would hope that things would change in the government sense, but that's going to take a long time, and we have a lot of soul searching from everybody down way at the bottom even to reach the top. But the change that we are seeing is the spectrum, the full spectrum of colors, man. So I just want to show this, man. This shirt here I was promoting, during the time in the summertime, trying to promote awareness to the whole situation, and to get away from me to be able to donate. And I donated to the Social Change Fund. You could find a video like that on YouTube. I reposted it on YouTube. You can see that I decided to make that donation to the Social Change Fund, and that's like a charity that was brought on along by Mello, CP3, and Dwayne Wade, for a way for them to give back, and for people to have a place to donate to. It's just sad news, man. But you can't really expect things to change unless we all change. So this is still a basketball podcast, Knicks podcast, man. So I just needed to make that announcement before I started, because that is important, man. Sports and everything is supposed to help us get over it, but to get past it, or to help us get through. But you can't ignore it, man. You can't ignore things that like it never happened. But in this podcast today, man, I want to talk about Tyler Herro, man, and of course I'm gonna relate it back to my Knicks. But Tyler Herro, you can't really take nothing from the kid, man. He averaged for the regular season, he averaged 13, 4, and 2. Now this regular season has an asterisk, right? So I want to go with this Clutch Points article. They just said the real reason why Tyler Herro is actually succeeding is because of COVID, because of the break. The season ended. When did the season end? In February. The season ended in February, and then we had all this long break, and then all of a sudden it picks up again in August. So you're talking about February, March, April, May, June, July, August. What's that? 6 months, damn near 6 months, just about, of training. You know what I'm saying? To get ready for this bubble. You know what I'm saying? That's free training for a rookie. So he's not really a rookie right now. Like, it's really like his second season. So you know, you just want to talk about it like that. It's his second season. Let's just get into his playoff stats. Of course, his playoff stats get a little bump. Of course, also he gets a little bit of minutes bump as well. So that's responsibilities. Is field goal percentages, 3-point percentage, and his free throws has always been great. Not great, but been pretty good. 44% from the field. We're talking about 37% from three, and 88% from the free throw. That's pretty consistent from what he was doing in the regular season. But just the minutes went up by 6 minutes, and that's due to Miami just trusted him. So I know they had him, training, and he was able to do whatever he needed to do to get better. And just add all that is just a perfect storm for a kid to get better. And not only that, let's go back to the regular season. The regular season stats, he was only averaging 4 rebounds and 2 assists. Fast forward to the playoffs, the bubbles, and we're talking about how many games here? 20 game? No. 13 games in the playoffs so far. He's averaging 5 rebounds and damn near 4 assists. Well, actually, close to 6 rebounds and 4 assists with only a 6 minute difference. And he upped his point total by a few, by 3 points, and he's averaging 16.5. Last few games. Last game. Let's just talk about the last game. He had like 37 points, and he was like talking his junk. He had swag, and he basically carried the Miami Heat to that 3-1 victory, in their playoff series against the Boston Celtics. And kudos to the kid, but it's really because of the kid. Uh, you know, I really hate to throw everybody else under the bus. But that's what they do, especially when you're a Knicks fan. They're gonna throw your favorite player under the bus, and of course, who do they throw on the bus immediately? Out of all the other players that were drafted in just drafted, like you have to use RJ as you know the the blacklist. You have to blacklist them after lack of a better word, man. Because like I said, I'm trying not to play the race card when it comes to Tyler Herro, because you got to give him his props, man. But RJ, you want to talk about the draft and stuff like that? RJ, it was always a two-man draft. First of all, it was actually a one-man draft because RJ was the one. He's been the top of his class since he's been a little kid. Since he's been in junior high school, he's always been ranked number one out of all of the prospects in his age group. And Zion came out of nowhere because of the dunks, but then he goes to Duke, and he went from just being a dunker to now this guy is actually a really good player. So somehow Zion was able to surpass RJ, which surprised everybody. So then it became a two-man draft, and then this guy came out of nowhere from Memphis, and then he boosted himself up to make it a three-man draft. So RJ got pushed again to the third step, but that's not a knock to his talent. It's just Zion and the other kid getting elevated above because of their play. Now you want to talk about now. Let's just talk about the draft from that year. So this is 2018 draft. I'll put it up on the screen so you guys can see. It's the 2019 draft. So of course we know that RJ was drafted third because the Knicks had the third pick, man. So it was, like I said, it was always a three-man draft. It was Zion Williamson. The second person was John Morant. John Morant came out of nowhere. He was like he played on the same team, I believe, as Zion. So both of those guys were underrated, and they both elevated themselves or whatever. So I mean, this is the backstory. But I mean, RJ, like I said, RJ was always the number one pick. Since he was like a junior high school. Anyway, so now it ended up being a three-man draft, and RJ gets drafted third. So I mean, scroll down. Scroll down to, let me see what you guys can see here. Scroll down to number 13, Tyler Herro. Tyler Herro right there is highlighted. Tyler Herro was drafted 13. Let's look at who was drafted ahead of him. You want to talk about DeAndre Hunter, Darius Garland, Jarrett Culver, Kobe White. He got a little props this year because he can score, really good score. Huchimura, he actually had a good season. Cam Reddish, nobody talks about Atlanta. So I mean, look at Cameron Johnson, PJ Washington. Quiet as kept. A lot of these players in this 2019 draft is probably gonna go down as one of the better drafts, because you want to look down at Brandon Clark. Brandon Clark had a good year. A couple other guys. This Alexander Walker is pretty good. Seco was pretty good. There's a bunch of guys in this draft that's pretty good. Even like Washington. I don't want to knock any of these guys because like I said, 6 months, man. 6 months since the end of the regular season to when the bubble started. That's a lot of time to prepare. So any of these kids could have had a breakout showing if they were invited to the bubble. So back to our guy RJ Barrett. It's just typical Knicks that every time somebody does well, somebody has to come out and make the point that, the Knicks drafted the wrong person. We drafted the wrong person, but man, we had the freaking third pick. Like I said, it was basically three people to choose from. Like if we didn't get the 1 or 2 pick, then RJ was the third pick. There was nothing else that we can really say. Of course, like you can make the argument saying that yeah, if you like a guy, you pick whatever. It doesn't matter what the draft mocks and all that stuff says. But I mean, that's all fine and dandy until it happens to you. Now you want to fast forward now to the 2019 draft. The 2020 draft. We got people out there talking about that the Knicks should just draft whatever, don't look for this, don't look for that, just draft the best player available. Or they're saying, they need to do this, they need to get a big name, they need to get a point guard. There's all these different things, right? But I mean, the Knicks are only drafting 8th. At the time here, we got the top 3 pick. You basically have to draft draft to the top top 3. You can't just bypass a talent like RJ Barrett. Before anybody plays an NBA game, you're you don't really know what they're gonna do. Like Tyler Herro, like there was a video that someone posted about a Miami Heat fan. He was waiting for Miami to get called, and they say Tyler Herro. Oh my God, who is this guy? Who is Tyler Herro? I mean, Tyler Herro played for Kentucky, and nobody cared about Tyler Herro. He got drafted behind a classmate. PG Washington was actually his classmate. And truthfully, I don't really remember watching Kentucky so much last year. They were kind of under the radar or whatever. But that just goes to show you the test, how good Tyler Hero is, because even after all of that, like, he was able to elevate or whatever. But I mean, he also got put on Miami Heat. Miami Heat has, like, consistently, like, the best, like, staff, and we were talking about coaching and front office in basketball outside of San Antonio. You want to talk about the Lakers. Lakers always are, they're just lucky, man. They have all kind of issues in their front office, but they always tend to be lucky with a lot of their different moves and stuff. But Miami is a hard nosed basketball club, man. Ever since Pat Riley got there, Pat Riley got there, instantly turned them into a playoff contender, and we battled them in the playoffs. And then while the Knicks were doing their up and down for during the Marbury years and all this, that, and the other, Miami rebuilt themselves twice. You know what I'm saying? They went and got a championship with Wade the first time with Antoine Walker and all these guys, and then they rebuild again. Got a top pick. They didn't even use the top pick, and ended up getting LeBron and all this other stuff and starting another run. Now they rebuilt again. Now they have another young crew out there that's doing well. So I mean, the Miami Heat, you just tip your hat off to them, man. And also too, man, you got to give respect to um to Tyler Hero for capitalizing on that good fortune of being on that team. Now, who's to say that let's say if the Knicks were Miami Heat was in the Knicks position, they were picking third. Who would they have picked? Would they have picked Tyler Hero? No, they would have not. They would have picked RJ Barrett still. There's no there's like they weren't in the market for a small forward at the time. You know what I'm saying? So RJ Barrett would have been right up their alley, because it would have been the type of player that they need. A small forward, kind of swingman kind of guy. So I mean, Miami Heat would have drafted RJ Barrett if they were in the same spot. So the question is, right, if Miami Heat drafted RJ and then let's say they didn't win, they didn't have a winning season, with people be saying, oh, look, the Knicks drafted the person that Miami Heat got. No, they would never say that, because that narrative only plays out when it comes to the Knicks. So even let's say if they were winning with RJ, and the Knicks were winning with Tyler Hero, it just would be like a fluke, or the Knicks are just bad. That's the reason why they're just historically bad. Just the same way like RJ got snubbed for this all rookie team. I mean, like I said, I already made the point that there was like so many different draft people, man. I want to say, like the first 13 up into Tyler Hero, all those guys are going to be great. Not great, but all these guys are going to be the future of the NBA, basically. A lot of starters in the top 13. You want to talk about Romeo Langford? Romeo Langford is another guy. Like I said, Sekou is pretty good. Alexander Walker's pretty good. Go down to Matisse. I'm not good with these guys' names. He plays for he got drafted by Boston. You want to talk about Brandon Clark? Like I said, Brandon Clark is pretty good. Nasir Little is good. There's a bunch of guys in that first round for the 2019 draft that are going to go on to have great, if not pretty good careers, man. So you can't really knock it, man. Yeah, but I just wish the narrative would change, man. It doesn't matter what we talk about. The Knicks are always are in the mix of just bad news all the time. Can Tyler Hero have a good showing? Can he just have a Cinderella playoff run? Can he just be the young guy? Can he be like the Sam Cassell of 2020? And just let him live without throwing RJ Barrett into the coals? It doesn't make any sense, man. Because damn sure 6 months, I'm quite sure RJ Barrett would have improved as well. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about RJ Barrett. So we're gonna go to Instagram, and look at this picture, man, with our guy RJ looking jacked. You know what I'm saying? This is what happens with 6 months. If you know how to work out and whatever, you can really change your body in 3 months. 90 days, you can really change your body from being completely out of shape to being, in shape, kind of. So an NBA player that's already in immaculate shape to begin with, and they have stuff that they want to improve on. You give that person 6 months, they're gonna really improve themselves, especially if they're focused and have nothing but time, which these basketball players have. It's not like they have, like a city job where they got to drive an ambulance for 12 hours or walk the beat, somewhere as a police officer for 12 hours, or be in somebody's jail or anything. You just run down the line. They, and then still have to be at a top athlete. No, this is their job. They're professional athletes, so this is what they do. So give these guys 6 months and look what happens, man. Look at RJ, man. He looks like a whole different dude, man. um you know cameras and all that stuff can really make someone look exaggerated, but I mean, you can't really fake that, man. The guy is very, very strong, vascular. You can see even his legs. He got a little extra strength in his legs. So that's what you like to see. But that's just exactly what happened to Tyler Herro. So I just want to take a peek again at this Instagram feed, because I mean, the New York Knicks has been doing a great job with his Instagram feed. So I mean, you could just look at all these different pictures. Like, I mean, like the recent pictures with the coaching staff, Tom Thibodeau, and the guys. That's been incredible. I believe it's this post here. Let's go here. Right there you go. This they kind of cut off. They cut off our boy that kid Bryant from Utah. They cut him off, but he was also staring too. They were actually looking at Kevin Knox. And I mean, look at Kenny Payne's face. He really looks like Major Payne. you know, and Woody. Everybody loves Woody. And then my man Tom Thibodeau, he looks kind of fit for a dude that's in his 60s. I know they all got the gut, but otherwise they look pretty healthy, all of them, to tell you the truth. So that's good to see too, man. So I mean, everybody's focused. Everybody seems to be on the same page. Their body language in these pictures on Instagram, they tend to show unity. Really, the focus of the coaching staff. They all got the same energy, and that's all you can hope for at this time. Because I mean, we don't have nothing else to hope for, and outside of that. Let's look at this, man. They just a workout montage. This is Dennis Smith Jr.'s first video, and that's actually posted by the Knicks. So that's got to tell you right there that they probably told him, listen, no video for the summer, for this break, and then you just do your thing and practice, and then when it's time, you get to show it. So since we're looking at Dennis Smith Jr. here, man, let's just talk about it, man. Dennis Smith Jr. Before he got to the Knicks, he was averaging 12 points a game. He was averaging what do you want to say? He was averaging 12 points a game. He's done that already. He's done it, enough in his league. Even when he came to the Knicks, after the trade, he actually did average 15 points a game. So what happened to him that he went from 15 points a game to single digits? It's a plethora of things. It could be just the family stuff. It could be a lot of different things. Like I said, but like I said, we give guys 6 months. And what could the Knicks do at this point in time? So I mean, this is still the same season, but this is actually the second season, because right now we're talking about the end of September, about to be October. We should be getting into training camp for the next season right now, not just finishing off the NBA season. So everything is going to get all messed up, man, because like I said, this 6 months thing, this 6 month thing, there's a lot of training that could be done during 6 months. So like right after the season is over, so you want to say maybe like in the beginning of October or so, the season will be over. So October, you want to talk about October, November, December, January, February. It will be like another 4 months. So that's like another season, that's coming up. So all this extra training that these players these young players are getting is nothing but it's just good for them, because they get a chance to train, take it easy on their body. They don't have to be traveling. They don't have to keep wearing and tearing with back-to-back games and all this other stuff, practice and stuff like that. They can just train with themselves and just get better. And that's how you get your legs strong. That's how you get your upper body strong. That's how you perfect certain things in your game. So this all these layoffs could actually be something good for our Knicks. So I just hope so, man, because you want to look down the roster. The Knicks roster is filled with just a bunch of young players, man. Let's see if we can pull that up with the New York Knicks. I'm going to share the screen again, and let's just look at the Knicks current roster. Like I'm talking about Dennis Smith Jr. right now. I already talked about RJ Barrett, But we can really talk about just the whole team in general, because every single player, another guy that's in my mind right now is Frank Ntilikina. You've seen more videos of him this summer than anybody on the team, really. So, like I said, I feel like the Knicks have really taken control of what's being put out there, as far as visually for the fans to see, because I believe that they're finally understanding that we can't really, out of lack of a better term, fuck with the New York City media anymore, or just ESPN media, or just the world media in general. They have to dictate their own narrative, and they've done a great job in this little 6 month break, before the bubble. They've done a great job with that. Like I said, they brought in they reined in Dennis Smith Jr. And now they're pushing Frank, trying to get him out there to get everyone excited, and just to see that he is working, to try to build that positivity, man. I think that's all important. So I mean, like, there's some names here: Alfred Payton. These guys are on non-guaranteed contracts. Marcus Harkless is on a non-guaranteed. Bullock is on a non-guaranteed. Bobby Portis. Who else down here? Wayne Ellington is on a non-guaranteed. They already waived Traer because he was on a non-guarantee, and Kadeem Allen was traded, for Jared Allen. Jared Harper. Damian Dotson, he could be waived too, 'cause he's on a minimum contract. Taj Gibson, I'm not sure if I remember mentioned him, but he's also on a non-guaranteed contract. So if you're gonna get this cap space, you could just take all those non-guaranteed contracts off the books straight up. Um, you know, and you just go down the line here. It's so much like potential. Like Mitchell Robinson, you seeing the jump shot, so you hope to see the jump shot being implemented. One guy that really excites me is Ignas Brazdeikis. Now, our guy Ignas, man, we actually need bench scoring. We just need scoring in general, man. So I could see Iggy Brazdeikis making a big time contribution this year, just for the simple fact that we're gonna get rid of some of these different players. Like, we saw a lot of Mo Harkless. Uh, who else? We saw a lot of Reggie Bullock. So I mean, there's a spot open there. Iggy can come in there and take a Reggie Bullock spot, or he could take a Mo Harkless spot. So this is all exciting stuff, man. And then like I said, we're in a market for point guard, so we might end up signing somebody. So that doesn't mean the death of So, well, that's not really really a good term, to use after the beginning of this episode. But you know, DSJ and Frank, they still have an important role in this league, because you can still throw Frank at the two guard because he's tall, and you can even throw DSJ there and there at the two guard as well, man. If he can get his scoring together, it doesn't necessarily have to be the jump shot. He can be able to mix it up and do an in between kind of game, and just use his athleticism. Because I found out the other day, where I realized that Donovan Mitchell was only 6'1", and Dennis Smith is 6'3". So if he plays at the two, you can't say that he's undersized, because Donovan Mitchell is probably like the best shooting guard in the NBA right now. Yeah, man. So anyway, just running down the line there. Shout out to everyone that's watching this podcast on live. It's on Facebook, it's on Twitter, and it's also on Sportscaster. So I'm not looking at Sportscaster now. Every time I try to look at Sportscaster, I always mess up and end up getting like some heavy feedback or whatever. So I'm gonna attempt at it now, man, because Sportscaster, you guys typically show me a lot of love on here. So I just want to make sure that I shout you guys out. Yeah, man. So I started off the podcast talking about Brianna Taylor, so I know that was tough, man. You know, but it's like almost that we can just accept it, because I mean, that's just what's gonna happen. Like I said, the people on the street level, at least in New York, they've really from my perspective, being in New York, they've really changed a lot, man. Because whenever they had these protests and whatever, you didn't really see a lot of other people, other races and stuff in these type of protests. You always saw just black and Spanish, doing their thing. But I think it's very important now to point out that people of all races. And then now, when you get to these protests, because I want to say, like, black and Spanish, whatever, we're like defeated already. But it's great to see that all these other ethnicities are coming to the forefront and letting people know that they're tired of it too. So that's very important, man. So I want everyone to be encouraged by everything that's happening, and just don't let this whole thing with Brianna Taylor tear you up, man, tear you down, and to the point where you can't function anymore, man. I feel like the world is getting better. It's not gonna get to the point where we're gonna see change in government, but maybe our kids or grandkids might, So those out there that are fighting the fight on the ground, man, you guys are gonna go down in history as the generation that took the next step to get everybody together, man. So yeah, I just want to say what's up to Sportscaster. We got Looky here. He's here looking around. He dropped me 20 tickets. I appreciate you. We got Galaxy Fam. We got Pace Me Austin. We got Will the Great. Will the Great started following me. Who else followed me here in this thing here? Just Will the Great. Will the Great also sent 100 tickets, man. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in and also giving these tickets, man, because these tickets are good. It's always great to get tickets, man. So anyway, that's my 2 cents with this whole thing. Shout out to Tyler Herro. Like I said, there's no racism. I'm like, I don't want to. It's at the tip of everybody's tongue. They want to say because somebody like Stephen A. Smith already ripped the scab off already, saying that the reason why Steve Nash got the job is because of white privilege. You want to talk about Tyler Herro getting all these accolades, and then out of nowhere you want to shit on R.J. Barrett for no reason. You know what I'm saying? You want to call that white privilege? You know what I'm saying? I'm quite sure somebody's going to try to pull that, but I'm not going to pull it. I know, even though I said it and I put it out there, bro, that's all that needs to be said. Racism ends with me. I hope that can continue to radiate through the universe, man. We just need to get better as people. Things are changing. We really need to stay together. So anyway, this is Evil the Any Star, host of Dynex Podcast. As I end the podcast, I always like to say, put 4 fingers to your forehead, tuck in your thumb, salute. Let's get this out of here so you guys can see me around the front. 4 fingers to the forehead, tuck in your thumb, salute. See you guys on the next one. That's it. Dynex Podcast, man. Continue to tune in. Once again, catch me on Instagram, Dynex Podcast, Twitter, Dynex PC. I'm on YouTube. Everything is getting reposted to YouTube, and just follow the kid, man. We're trying to do more and more, videos and stuff like that for you guys to enjoy. And then, as always, check the audio podcast. Everything that I post visually will be posted on the audio podcast, and also you might find some audio exclusives from time to time as well. So anyway, Evil out. See you guys in the next one.